Alright, let's edit our animation a bit here. I'll show you some things we can do in the graph editor first, then we'll go back to moving these keys around on the timeline. Okay, if I pull up the graph editor, maximize it, and I'll use my, remember these handy dandy things, the frame up, frame all, translate Y, frame all, there we go. Zooms us in on our curve. And I just want to show you what will happen when I grab these two keys, hit W for move so I can move them around, and just move them up and down. And let me zoom back out here so you can see the effect actually in the perspective view. So as I move these up and down, you'll see that the position of the ball changes as I move them. And that shows you that this up and down movement corresponds to space. So if I want to go ahead and make this adjustment, the nice thing is I can adjust both of these keys simultaneously. I don't have to scrub in the timeline to frame 1 and then to frame 30 and adjust. So a really useful shortcut is if I want to constrain these to the timeline, because if I take this and I just move it over a little bit accidentally to the left or the right, it actually changes the timing. And here I don't want to change the timing, I just want to change the height of the keys. So I grab those and I hold down the Shift key, and then when I click to move these, it automatically constrains it to move only vertically. And because this window behaves the same as one of my panels out here, I can just middle mouse wheel and then to give me some more scale, and then I can pull these up as high as I want. And sure enough, when I go to play this back, we have a pretty big change in the animation there. Alright, but I'm just going to go back to what I had at the beginning, because that seemed pretty decent. And this might seem, it feels a little bit slow to me. It feels like this could be a lot zippier. So let me show you how to make a quick change to this, but keep all of our proportions the same. Now I could go in and do this by moving sets of keys. I could grab these two keys, hold down on the Shift key, and then middle mouse click, and that constrains it now to move to the left as long as I move to the left first. So I go to the left, and I could go back in and I could move these keys and so on. Now I'm going to undo those moves. That's fine, and we'll do that a lot during the quarter, but for right now I want to show you kind of a quick down and dirty way to make a big change to your timing. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come out here to my time slider, and I'm going to hold down Shift, and I'm going to drag across this whole range of keys, from my first key to my last key. And as you see here, it turns red. Now what this is going to enable us to do is it's going to enable us to scale that whole range of keys. But before I can do that, I have to be able to see a little bit farther out here to the right than I can see right now. So to do that, I'm going to take my range slider and drag it out a few frames. And so now when I do that, you can see I have this right arrow, this outer arrow. There's an inner set of arrows, which we're not going to use right now, and this outer set of arrows. And I wanted to get this outer set of arrow, but when I had it set, outer arrow, but when I had it set to 30, I couldn't see it. So I had to use my range slider to make it bigger so I could then see that arrow. Now, once I have that arrow visible, I can click and drag on it, left click and drag on it, and as I move this in, the whole animation scales very nice and neatly down. And this will allow us to make this animation keeping the same keys, but it'll play back faster now. And you notice that it hangs in the air there. That's because we have this dead range here. And so to get rid of that, all I have to do is, using our handy range slider, is scale this down until we get another loop. So I'll just scale it in like that and play it back. And now you can see we've got the exact same bounce. We didn't have to move any keys at all in the graph editor, but we have the same animation happening much quicker. So we've made a really big change to our timing. Okay, so let me stop this here. Stop. And when my time slider is red like this, if I want to get it back to normal, I just click somewhere else, off into the perspective window, and then I've deselected the ball, and so now I'm back to normal.